All right, we have some major breaking news, and there's really no time to waste with this one. I want to dive in headfirst with you right now. The largest MAGA conspiracy that Trump supporters have been pushing for years just blew up in their faces. And the people who did it, the people who debunked it publicly, was their own guys, their own politicians in office right now. According to Axios, in an exclusive report, the Department of Justice and the FBI, both controlled by Donald Trump, of course, have concluded that Jeffrey Epstein had no quote-unquote client list and that, of course, he took his own life. Republicans have been saying that, oh, Joe Biden covered it up, the Democrats somehow covered it up, and now their own buddies in office are saying not quite. According to Axios, Donald Trump's DOJ and FBI have concluded that they have no evidence that convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was murdered, according to a memo detailing the findings. And of course, we actually now have that memo. This is right from the DOJ and the FBI, and you can see in that circle that is surrounded by red, it says, quote, "This systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." This is right from the DOJ. This is from the Trump administration. The administration is also releasing a video in both raw and enhanced versions that it says indicates no one entered the area of the Manhattan prison where Epstein was held the night he died in 2019. This is also a theory they've been pushing, that he actually didn't take his own life, that in reality, somebody got in there and did it for him. And this is the video they've released so far. You can see it has no sound. This is from the night that Jeffrey Epstein died, that night he took his own life. And this is just a little bit of video, and you can see that there's nobody around. There's no way of getting into this cell. And they have apparently around 10 hours of footage that has been released by the DOJ that you can watch on their website now. This video supports a medical examiner's finding that Epstein took his own life, and the findings represent the first time that Trump's administration has officially contradicted conspiracy theories about Epstein's activities and his death. Theories that, of course, have been pushed by the FBI's two top officials, those being Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. When they were social media influencers, they were among those in MAGA who questioned the official version of how Epstein died. But they have since said that, of course, Epstein took his own life and that there is no major conspiracy theory. But here's the interesting thing about this story. Just a couple of months ago, Pam Bondi was on Fox News saying that the quote-unquote Epstein list was sitting on her desk, and she and her team were going through it, getting ready to release it to the public, and now the DOJ is like, yeah, there's no list. Just take a look at this video of Pam Bondi back in February, shortly after Donald Trump got inaugurated.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well,
yeah, just this year, 2025, Pam Bondi said it was on her desk right now, ready for review, ready to get released to the American people. And now the Trump administration is singing a different tune, saying this review revealed no incriminating client list. He didn't, wasn't killed or anything like that. It's just interesting how the Trump administration has flipped. Pam Bondi just a few months ago was saying something different. And also it's important to remember that the White House themselves had this huge MAGA influencer event where they invited a bunch of MAGA people to the White House to give them quote-unquote Epstein binders. Look at it. If you zoom in, it says the Epstein Files Phase 1. They were given to all of these MAGA conservative influencers. They paraded them around at the White House saying, looky here, we have transparency from the Trump administration. And it was all for show. It was all fake. The Trump admin has been lying to their own base, and of course the American people. They've been flirting with this conspiracy theory to keep the MAGA base involved, to even win votes before the election. That's something that Donald Trump talked about doing in terms of releasing these files. And now that they're in office, now that they actually have, access to all these documents, there is nothing. There is nothing. They fold. And it's also important to note that when Kash Patel was just on Joe Rogan a couple of months ago, he and Joe Rogan were talking about the Epstein files, and they actually were on air when Elon Musk accused Donald Trump of being on the Epstein files. So take a look at that clip as well.
This is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat. Joe, you want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation
What
between
is he?
Elon
Have a
and Trump.
nice day, DJD. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and forth about different things. And
Yeah. Listen,
Well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
yeah,
Yeah.
they told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way outside
What
my
the
lane.
fuck are they doing?
I know my lane, and that ain't it.
I just don't.
And so Kash Patel is saying, I'm not getting involved in that beef. But also, when on Joe Rogan's podcast, he talked about the theory that Epstein took his own life and contradicted it there as well. This was at the same time that the Trump administration was lying, saying that this supposed list was sitting on Pam Bondi's desk. Take a look.
What about the video from the island?
Oh, sorry. So you're talking about two different
Yes.
things. So
Sorry.
So again, we're going to give you everything we can, and people have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize women. We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening, because then he wins. Not doing it. You want to hate me for it? Fine. Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island, and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it, period.
Right.
If I have it.
So
Where else would it be?
Yeah, and the final clip I want to show you from this podcast is where Kash Patel was like, yeah, there is no cover-up here, also contradicting some of the main MAGA conspiracies. Take a
And
look.
then what happened? The Trump administration, the last go-around, decided, no, we're not going to let that go. We're going to investigate him, right? They charge him, they indict him, and he's awaiting trial. And I've said it, Dan Bongino said it, we've reviewed all the information, and the American public is going to get as much as we can release. He killed himself. Do you think, let's play out the logical conclusion of this. Do you think that myself, Bongino, and others would participate in hiding information about Epstein's grotesque activities? Or do you think we would also participate in not prosecuting people we had evidence to prosecute people on? But the problem is there's been like 15 years of people coming in and creating fictions about this that doesn't exist.
See, this is what happens when these MAGA people like Kash Patel and all these others in the Trump administration, this is what happens when they rile up their base with the promise of, oh, there's something incriminating here. There's something major that you haven't seen. Everybody's hiding it from you. And then they actually get into office and then they realize that there's nothing. And that their whole conspiracy that they've crafted on this narrative was total BS. And so they are facing the wrath of MAGA right now with this scathing new report on the Trump administration that, yeah, they said that there's no client list, that Epstein took his own life. And I think the Trump administration has some questions to answer. Why was Pam Bondi saying that there was a list? Why was Elon Musk saying that Donald Trump was on this supposed list? There's just so many holes in this story. But what we know now is that MAGA's biggest conspiracy, the thing that they've been focusing on for years, associating any Democrat under the sun with, has now been debunked. And their meltdown online will be beautiful to watch. So anyway, I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story, and let me know what you think about this exclusive reporting. But I will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing rest of your day.